Welcome to Good Vibes TV. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, here to explore ways to raise your vibration so you can thrive. In this episode, my guest is Teresa Cundiff, who is a CEO of Wordy Nerds Media. She's also a talk show host, a freelance proofreader, and a 10-time international best-selling author. Please welcome, all the way from Fredericksburg, Virginia, Teresa Cundiff. Welcome, Teresa, to the show.
Thank you, Leslie. I am so thrilled and excited to be here with you today. Thank you so much for having me on.
You are so welcome. Now, the way I know you is actually through your talk show, Teresa Talks. So tell us more about Teresa Talks, how you started, and where you are now.
Well, Teresa Talks came to be because I am a freelance proofreader, and I wasn't sure how I would spin that into a TV show, but a friend of mine really encouraged me. She said, "You're such an angel and you're so beautiful. You need to have a TV show." And I was like, okay, well, let's figure this out. Well, I have such a great love for books, and I'm so fascinated by people who are able to write books. So that's how that happened. So I love authors, and I'm fascinated by people who are brilliant enough to write books. So it turned into me having a talk show where I interview authors. So then I didn't want to limit myself to just people who write books, because there are so many brilliant people who will be writing books. They just haven't gotten their books out of their heads and onto the page yet. So that's why my tagline is inspiring conversations with authors, published and unpublished. And I have had a number of 2 or 3 or 4 authors that are unpublished on the show. And I have been their biggest cheerleader to say, you have got to write your book. You have so much to share with the world that you've got to get your brilliance onto the page and published in a book and out to the world for everyone to learn more about you. So it really just gives me license to talk to whoever I want to.
Beautiful. Now, how many have there been people that haven't been published yet but are now getting published because of it? Because of your show?
Well, there are 2 that were sort of on the cusp of having their books out to the publisher. So I would say yes. Then there are a few of them that I told them, I said, all you have to do is open Word and just click that little microphone up in the corner and just start talking. You don't even have to type it. Just start talking and do like a thought dump and get your thoughts just on the page. Just start talking. There are developmental editors, which is the beginning process, that will help you arrange your thoughts in such a way that the book will begin to make sense, or a book coach, which is kind of like the terminology nowadays. Instead of a developmental editor, you have a book coach, because it's all about coaching nowadays, right? So, so I hope so. So I continue to cheer them on, and I myself, I am a 10-time #1 Amazon bestseller, but in collaboration books. So I am writing a chapter in books. So I still myself aspire to write my memoir, which I am in the process of doing. I just haven't completed it yet because I'm a little busy with the other things going on in my life. So I too need to click that little microphone in the corner and just start talking. So yes. I need to preach to the choir a little bit.
Tell us about these 10 books that you've been in. Are there is it a series of books, or tell me about it?
Well, the first 2 books that I was in were with the late Steve Sambliss, and those are One Habit books. And that's actually how Leslie and I very first met, because we were in this book together, One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success. And then I followed on with this One Habit for Thriving in a Post-COVID World. So these were my first 2 books. Another set of books that I do that come out annually are The Art of Connection. And so these are books that go with the calendar, 365 days. And it's just things that you can read each day. There's a quote and a thought, and then a thought-provoking question for the reader. So these books are great, and they come out annually around Christmas time. And these books are also in the Library of Congress. So 2 of these books have come out so far. I'm super proud to be in these. And actually, there's an affiliate link for anyone interested in being in these books. They're looking for authors that want to be in these. And these are a great way to be a first-time published author, because you're just writing a page. There is a number limit to the amount of words you can actually write. So it's not daunting or anything. Super great way to be a first-time published author. The next set of books that I am writing in is the 13 Steps to Riches. And it's published through Habitude Warrior, which is Eric Swanson's brainchild, the Habitude Warrior. And the 13 Steps to Riches are based on Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. Each one of his 13 principles. And so this is the first book on desire. And 6 of these have already been published, and the 7th one is going to drop, I think, next week. And so there are 33 of us who are consistently the authors in these books. And so each one of these goes international bestseller every time it drops. And so that's very thrilling, knowing that I'm going to be a 13-time #1 best-selling author just with these books. And so what we can do is when this series is finished, we can each one of us authors, if we so desire, can take our chapter out of every one of these books and make it our own book, with a certain percentage of changing what we've written to make it our own, to differentiate it enough from what we've published in these 13 books. So I potentially have my own book coming out of this series in the future, which would be sometime next year when the series is completed. So it's very exciting. I love being part of this. Well, of all the series I've been in, The Art of Connection and the 13 Steps to Riches, I have signed on to be in another series of books that will publish in 2023, based on Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People. So I'm super excited about that. That will be a series of 4 books that'll come out quarterly next year. So I have those projects coming up in the future. So I'm very excited about that. And I'm doing some books as well with Linda Sunshine West. So I have a lot of stuff going on. I haven't really thought about it. I haven't really thought about it like that. So I'm kind of busy. What do you know?
Yeah. And it all started with your proofreading business, huh?
It did. I decided to hang out my shingle as a proofreader. I wanted to do something on the side. I have my day job that I do, but I have, some ambition, and I just wanted to do something on the side and start a business of my own. And I've always loved English. I wasn't an English major in college because I didn't want to be an English teacher, because I love things related to writing, the grammar, the sentence structure, the punctuation. So as you see, my tagline is, I know where the commas go. That is, without a doubt, the #1 mistake that people make in their writing is they don't know how to properly punctuate their sentences. They think a comma goes where you naturally stop and pause when you're speaking, and that's just not the truth. There are rules. There are lots of rules about punctuation, and certainly where commas go in your writing, based on subject and verb and commas and conjunctions and so forth. I am always looking for proofreading clients, and please, 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 you cannot proof your own copy. Do not kid yourself about this. You're too familiar with the material to proof your own copy, because you'll read over stuff because you're too interested in the story. So you're not paying attention to the punctuation. So get a professional to proof your copy. You owe it to yourself. You've worked too hard on what it is that you're going to publish. So get a professional to proof your work before you send it to publish.
Well, we're going to take a short break right now, but when we come back, we're going to find out how you raise your vibration, Teresa. We'll be right back after this.
Teresa Talks is a new kind of interview show. I'm your host, Teresa Cundiff, and I won't just be interviewing authors who write books. I'll also be interviewing authors who will be writing books. We will have fun and you will be informed and entertained. And you won't want to miss Teresa Time, where I share what's on my heart. Teresa Talks is brought to you by Wordy Nerds Media and distributed by Legrity Media. Teresa Talks can be found on all these platforms, on these smart TVs, and wherever there is internet around the world. I'm excited for you to join me on Teresa Talks.
Welcome back to Good Vibes TV. I'm your host, Leslie Klein, here today with Teresa Cundiff, host of Teresa Talks and many, many other things. We've learned that you're a proofreader, that you have your own streaming television talk show, and you're an author of over 10 international selling books. So glad to have you back on the show here. And Teresa, tell us about how you raise your vibration, because our show is all about, we look at the world through the eyes of energy, frequency, vibration on the show. So I want to find out, how do you raise your vibe?
Well, Leslie, I am a singer, and I've always been a singer since I was a little girl. And music is what makes my heart sing. And so music is my happy place. It is what lifts my vibration. And so being born, when I was born in the 60s, it's 70s music that really makes me happy. And I have Sirius XM radio in my car. And so I put my radio on 70s on 7. And I know most of the songs that are on there, and I just sing to the top of my lungs. And one of my favorite songs to sing of all times is Piano Man by Billy Joel. So when it comes on, I crank the radio and I sing to the top of my voice. I love the Footloose soundtrack as well. I'll sing that, and that's what makes me happy, is singing. And that's like the first thing that would raise my vibration. And another thing I love to do is read. Clearly, I am a reader. But before I started my TV show, I just would love to read fiction. And that is something that lifts my mind to a place where I'm not thinking of things that would lower my vibration. So I could dive into a book, dive into another world, live vicariously through a set of characters, and separate myself from the things that would lower my vibration. So singing and reading, that makes me happy. And now I have a grandson who really makes my heart sing. And so my son and daughter-in-law are fantastic about sending pictures and videos, and watching those definitely raises my vibration.
Awesome. Yes. Music for sure, and singing are great ways to raise vibration, and you're just doing it naturally. That's why I'm so drawn to you, because you have such a powerful energy and presence, positive energy and presence. You're always smiling. And, when people are around you, Teresa, their vibrations get lifted because of your energy. So I just think the world of you.
Thank you, Leslie. Well, it's very interesting because I live with a pessimist. He is very pragmatic, and I'm a little bit more of a dreamer, and I'm a total optimist. We're big football fans, and we're Green Bay Packer fans, and I think the Packers can win until that last second ticks off the clock. And he's written them off at halftime. And I'm like, what is your problem here? Right? So I truly am just an eternal optimist. I think the best of everyone, and I think everyone I meet is going to like me. And so I just think the best of everyone that I meet, and I treat everyone with love and affection, and that's just the way that God made me. That's just the way I am. I think well of every situation. I don't borrow trouble. I don't look for the bad in anything. And so maybe it's living a life of rose-colored glasses, but I wouldn't want to live any other way. There's no room for negativity or any of that stuff. It's we're going to be upbeat. We're going to think the best. We're going to look for positive outcomes. And that's just the way it is. And that's my approach to everything.
That's awesome, because it's so true. We get what we expect. So if we're expecting good coming from other people, we're going to get that. But if you're expecting the bad, or if you're looking for problems, then you'll get that. It's the law of attraction. So your life is a perfect example of, putting out the vibe of what it is that you want, which is positivity. So that's so awesome. I wanted to talk about the power of words. Since you are a wordsmith, you are a master of words. Words have vibration. Words have vibration, and the impact of the words that we use on ourselves and other people is just so important. And I wanted to share with you a scientist called Dr. Masaru Emoto, who did experiments with water, and he proved that the words have an impact on water, whether they're spoken or just written. And I want to show you a picture of this. And the experiments that he did show how powerful words are and the vibration of words.
Those are so amazing. I mean, they almost look like snowflakes. So how do you know how the experiment was administered against the water to make it take shape?
Yes, there were some people that he would just have them say the word to the water, and then he'd freeze it, and then he'd take the pictures that you would see. Then there were some he would just write the word on the water bottle, right? So it's on it, and then he'd freeze that water, and then those were the crystals that would come out of the water. So the point is, we're anywhere from 70 to 90% water ourselves as people. So any words that any self-talk that we're doing, words we're saying to ourselves, words other people are saying to us, impacts us the way that you see here with these pictures. So
it's incredible.
It's all about the power of words. So I just wanted to share that with you and see what you thought about it, because you're living it, but here's the science behind it that actually shows you the power of the vibration of words.
Well, it doesn't surprise me that science supports that and proves it, because we as humans, we feel the impact of words from childhood. Whether you have loving and supporting parents, or you have critical parents that criticize what you do, or neglectful parents, or all of that, it stems from childhood on. The words that kids say to you in school, if you're bullied, or if you have a great friend group where there's love and support. Words have always had power, and the thing about just life in general is all about the connections that we have with humans. And they say, I mean, one of the things that I talk about, I mean, I think that you should surround yourself with people who love and support you. And if there are people in your life that don't love and support you, that you should cut them out of your life. And that's hard to do, but it's the connections that you have with people, and connections are made through communication, and communication happens with words. And so if people aren't using words with you and saying loving things and supporting things and actually talking to you, because you can be in the same house and not talking. So communication and words matter, and it's the words that you use that make a big difference. So, you know, how was your day? Good. How was dinner? Fine. You need more than that to feel connected to another human being. And all of life is about connections to your spouse and to your children and to your coworkers and to your friends, and just being polite to people that you interact with, you know, at the retail stores and so forth. That's all, it's 100% connection and communication.
Absolutely. That relates to The Art of Communication. Is that one of the books that you've written?
It's the Art of Connection is
Art of Connection.
Yes. And the one of them is the networking quotes, and then inspirational quotes. And the one we're doing for this year is transformational quotes. And
Nice.
so it's the Art of Connection. And so it's all about communication, because you can't connect if you're not talking.
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about choosing your words. And you know what you showed there is just fascinating. It makes perfect sense to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's mind-blowing, and actually that his research has been out for quite a few years. So anyway, let's talk about how you help people, and like, who is your perfect client?
Well, in my proofreading business, the perfect client is someone who knows he needs or she needs a proofreader. Who knows that they can't proof their own copy and is looking for a professional like me to proof their book. So that could be anyone, except I really don't like to do historical fiction. So I kind of stay away from that. But anyone that would like a professional proofreader, I have certifications under my belt. So that would be that person. And as far as the talk show goes, I'm looking for authors who would like to come on the show. It's 100% about the author, what they're currently doing, and future projects they have coming up. So it's really marketing for the author. I have just one author on per show. We kind of go through the book with a fine-tooth comb for the most part, talking about what they are passionate about with regard to the book. If it's a memoir, telling their story, or if it's one author, his booklet is actually what it was on heart disease. Other authors, their books are on like their coaching that they're doing. Just love talking to the authors about what they are expert in. So authors that are interested in coming on Teresa Talks, I'm looking for them. So
Wonderful. When we come back, we'll learn how Teresa can help you if you are a published author or an aspiring one, or if you need proofreading help.
Teresa Talks is a new kind of TV show. I'm your host, Teresa Cundiff, and I won't just be interviewing authors who write books. I'll also be interviewing authors who will be writing books. We'll have fun and you will be informed and entertained. Teresa Talks can be found on all these platforms, on these smart TVs, and wherever there is internet around the world. I'm excited for you to join me on Teresa Talks on Legrity Media.
Welcome back to Good Vibes TV. I'm interviewing Teresa Cundiff, the CEO of Wordy Nerds Media, also a host of Teresa Talks, a streaming TV talk show, and 10 times international best-selling author. So Teresa, here we are. It's been wonderful learning about all of the offerings that you have. If someone wants to be a guest on the Teresa Talk show, how can they reach you?
Well, they can reach me through my email, there's my website. You can reach me through my website, teresatalkstv.com. Certainly, you can email me there at teresatalkstv.com. I would love to hear from you, and I would certainly reach back out to you, and we'll connect and go from there. And then there's my Linktree, and that has all of my social sites on there, and we can connect through those, of course. And then also on my Linktree, you'll find a button to my free offer that I have for you. One of my collaboration books that I did with Action Takers Publishing, where Linda Sunshine West is the CEO, is called The Book I Read. And so my free offer to you is a free download of The Book I Read, where in this collaboration book, there are the authors in here talk about books that they read that profoundly impacted them. And so in here, I talk about a book I read called My Life with Karma. And it's by Travis Sackett, who I interviewed on my show. And it's a three-part interview because I wanted to make sure that I got through all of Travis's book and how it profoundly impacted me. And so you'll find my chapter in here. And so that's the free download that I have for you. And you can find the button on my Linktree. So I invite you to go to Linktree/Teresa Cundiff, and you'll find it there. And you'll get the free download of the book I read. And you'll also get to read all the other authors talking about the books that inspired them. And it'll give you a whole reading list of fantastic books that you too will want to read. So it's a great free offer.
Yes, thank you so much. This is a special offer for the Good Vibes TV viewers. So go to Teresa's Linktree there and download the book. As we've learned earlier in the show, that one way to raise your vibration is reading books, is learning new things, escaping into new worlds. So reading is so important, and especially in this digital world that we're in. But things are getting modified so that now we have digital books, and you don't have to have the actual physical book. You can still just read it online on your Kindle or whatever tablet that you have. So that's awesome. All right, Teresa, was there any other anything else you wanted to share with our viewers before we end our conversation today?
Well, I would like to say that when you have the opportunity to do something, say yes. Mm-hmm. Because I said yes to the opportunity to have a TV show. I am here today. I am convinced that all of my writing opportunities that I've had, and my 10-time #1 bestseller status, and I think it's actually 11 because I'm pretty sure that this was a #1 bestseller also, it came from saying yes. So saying yes can be scary, but so many opportunities come along, and you don't want to have regrets because you didn't take advantage of them. Say yes. just be bold, be courageous, and say yes, because the adventure is so amazing. You're going to meet so many incredible, wonderful people, because here I sit with Leslie Klein because I said yes to One Habit for Entrepreneurial Success, and Leslie was in that book. So that was one touch that I had of knowing who Leslie Klein is, learning the name. And then now here we are. And it turned out that today is our 2-year anniversary of being friends on Facebook. So say yes when an opportunity presents itself. You won't be sorry. Say yes.
Absolutely. I love that. That's so perfect. And yes, today I got that Facebook share that we were friends, and it's so serendipitous.
Yes.
That's the right word?
Serendipitous. That's the word. That's the word, wordy nerd. You got it.
That it was today, because today, and we were recording our show together. So this is wonderful. It's a great confirmation. Well, I want to thank you, Teresa, so much for sharing your knowledge today, your time, your talents. It's been wonderful getting to know you even a little bit better. And I'm so glad that our audience is going to get to know you better as well. So thank you so much for being part of the show.
Oh, Leslie, thank you so much for having me on. And you taught me something today with that research with words and water, and it fascinates me, but it doesn't surprise me. But thank you for sharing that. And I appreciate you taking the time to have me on Good Vibes TV. It's been my absolute pleasure.
And my pleasure too. Thank you so much. And thank you, Good Vibes viewers, for watching. If you would like to follow us, please go to good-vibes.tv, and you'll be able to connect with us on all the social media ways. So remember to raise your vibe so you can thrive. Peace out, everyone.